you know how we amplify it? By convincing ourselves that we shouldn't be suffering.
Yeah, that's the thinking.
That thought, I shouldn't be having this.
Yeah.
That's what destroys you. I had that when I got tinnitus for the second time. It worsened my tinnitus a lot, and I thought of suicide twice, very concretely. You know, somebody like me, I know exactly how to bring my life to an end.
Oh shit, Bernardo.
Quickly and painlessly with what is inside this house.
No, you mean that? Oh man.
For half an hour, I planned because I couldn't live with a dentist's drill, 2 of them inside my head 24 hours a day. But what I realized is that the brunt of that suffering was the narrative. If I hadn't been as stupid as to remove that siren from my wall myself, I wouldn't be in this position.
Yeah.
I didn't need to be in this position.
Yeah, that's what caused for people.
Be in this position.
That's what caused it, right? You had an alarm bell ringing and you removed it, which you shouldn't have done, and then it went off like louder and you got ear damaged.
Yeah, the security. I have a security system in the house, and several components, cameras, infrared, all this stuff. But there is an enormous siren that is supposed to be so loud that whoever is trying to steal something just leaves. It does ear damage.
Yeah.
And the technician came, renewed everything, but forgot to remove the old siren. And I thought I'll just pull it out. Yeah. But those things have a safety mechanism. If you pull it out,
then they
go off. And it went off just like this distance from my head.
Oh, yeah. It's instant damage, yeah. But in that half hour of distress, when you were like really seriously considering to end your life, you realized this is a narrative, and No, I wish the story was so romantic. It wasn't?
No, it wasn't that. No, I just didn't have guts. I didn't have, I think the more realistic way to say is I didn't have the guts. I was a coward because I had decided at that moment that I didn't want this to go forward. You know, there is a danger to being an idealist, that the notion of annihilation is off the table. So although you value life more because of that, if life becomes unbearable, it's easier to pull the plug because you're exchanging an unbearable known for an unknown. Now, it could be worse, but probably it's better. You know what I mean? And that's the calculation. And at that moment I thought that's the correct calculation, but I didn't have the guts. The realization that the brunt of that suffering was meta-suffering, that if I would just surrender and open up to the noise and accept it as a fact and understand that my life is not about me, has never been, and it will never be. The fact that I am suffering doesn't change the calculation of the worth of my life. Because it's not about my happiness. So even if it becomes impossible for me to be happy, because I have 2 dentist drills inside my head constantly, it's not about it. It's not about my having fun, my being happy, my being comfortable. That's not what it's about. And understanding this eliminates the meta-suffering and gives a level of peace that I didn't know existed. That voice in your head telling you everything you've done wrong, everything you regret. It
did that for you, that moment, on broader in your life. You just quit with that.
Yeah, and today I look back and the tinnitus episode was key to the storyline of my life. If that hadn't happened, I wouldn't be leading Essentia Foundation today.
That's beautiful, yeah.
Oh no, forget the potential beauty of it. It's a raw fact. You know how Essentia's foundation took place? It was on this very table in which we are. I was sitting over there. Fred Matzar was sitting where you were sitting. He came to visit me when I was in the throes of despair. And he had been asking me to leave my professional life. I used to work for ASML in the high-tech world, almost 25 years. And I didn't want to leave. It was my comfort zone. Everybody knew me, and I was good at what I did. I earned very well. And for 5 years, Fred was saying, you shouldn't be doing this. He had much more clarity about the direction of my life than I did. It's usually possible because when you are immersed in it, you don't see. And somebody who has the eyes to see it and is outside can see that. So he saw that 5 years earlier, and for 5 years I was telling him, not yet, not yet, not yet. Then I was sitting there in the throes of despair, and then he asked me, I'm going to ask you the same question again. Now that you think you are completely incapacitated, because I had just shared with him the fact that I didn't think I could do my work anymore. Because I couldn't concentrate, I couldn't sleep, and my work was very intellectual. And then he said, now that your defenses are weakened. I was completely vulnerable, completely vulnerable. He said, given this, I believe you can be extraordinarily productive still. And I will bet on you. If you quit your career and you join me, we will create this foundation. And I will make this bet on you. Are you willing to do that? And he looked at me in the eye.
As Fred can do, he has these eyes,
Yeah. And then the tinnitus had disarmed me so completely that I just looked at Claudia, who was sitting next to me, because it was a decision that would affect her life as well. Financially,
of course.
It's not the same like I used to have. I don't have big bonuses, and a lot of stuff is gone. I looked at her, are you okay with it? And then she said, yes, I am okay with it. And then I told Fred on the spot, yes, let's do this. Had the accident not happened, if I didn't have tinnitus, I would be still armed, defending my comfort zone, and there would be no Essentia Foundation. But that's something you figure out only later. So today, I still have the tinnitus. It's damaged. It's never going to go away. But there are several days, many days, in which I don't even think about it. I only remember it the next day.
That's good to hear.
I hear it as I'm talking to you.
Yeah, we're now talking about it.
It fades away. Even though the volume is still loud, I don't think about it. And it doesn't set the tone of my life anymore. It has become insignificant for my mental inner life, even though the sound is still there. It's a very annoying sound. It's like the sound, it makes you contort your facial muscles like nails on a blackboard. In the first 6 months, I had a lot of facial cramps.
Because of it?
Because I was subconsciously doing this day and night. And I had tongue cramps.
And do you now sleep well?
I sleep wonderfully.
Okay.
But the tinnitus is the last thing I hear before I fall asleep, and it's the first thing I hear when I wake up. But I sleep wonderfully, and I don't have cramps anymore. Tongue cramps, man, is one of the worst things
Never
you can
had
have.
those. You can have those, tongue cramps.
Well, I never read about it, but I have had it.
Yeah, you've had it now,
It's horribly painful, and it's not away. It's right on. But I don't have it anymore. I don't have this muscle spasms anymore. Tinnitus is still there. It's my friend now. It's my new silence.
You look happy. That's just.
I am very much in peace.